Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeff. So in this video, we're going to check out Twice I Can't Stop Me dance practice. If I knew that dance practices would be uploaded this fast, I would have waited to react to the music video and then kind of just combine them like what I used to do. We've had several groups release their dance practice within the week of release. And then you got, a group like Super M who still hasn't released the one dance practice. So yeah, we're going to check out Twice I Can't Stop Me dance practice. Let's go. I saw that Momo with her short hair became a meme with this thing. Great beginning. Great use of like dynamics there. Because it's like slow and then, to emphasize the beginning beat with that thing. So just an overall cool image. This is so retro. Yeah! So, because they're such a big group, these, the arm movements that they do, I know there's a lot of that in girl group dances that I've seen anyway. That's very difficult to synchronize because it involves the fingers and the hand. And what I've talked about before is that our wrists don't sway the same way as other people, and you have people who are like hyper flexible and people who are a little bit more stiffer on there, or like just they don't control their ends to the fingertips, because there's a difference between kind of doing this and doing like this, right? Do you guys see the difference? So it's just a little bit kind of like that. It's just a little bit more kind of regular, and then you have ones that extend to the ends of the fingertips. So those kind of things, I'm sure Twice kind of looks at those too, like how is it going to look as a group? Because if you have people who are like this and some people who are like this, then it's not going to look as polished, especially on your close-ups. So what they're doing here, it's really hard to synchronize because it's so precise. Whoa, those hips! Oh, cool. Kind of like a squawk. Oh, I like that. Hold on. I know you guys are killing me with this pauses. But like this part. Like that thing is just, it's closer to hip hop than a lot of like the hand movements. So it's just cool for those kind of small movements to be like interpreted in a girl group, because we don't see a lot of like hip hop moves like what we're used to, like those old school hip hop moves. And I feel like because this is like more retro, they're adding a lot of those kind of umps into this choreo. Look at Momo! She's the only one I know. That's why I'm like, whoo! Damn! Do you see that bend? Oh! It's just so good. It's like in Hit the Stage, she kills it with a lot of the sexier moves. So I'm not surprised that she's doing it here, but like look how low. So with those kind of movements, it's definitely commitment to that, that going down, that kind of thing. You can't half-ass it, because if you do, it's gonna look terrible and it's just not gonna look right. And it comes down to body lines, because they're extending the legs quite far, and then also like they're upright, and then they bend, right? It's kind of like Pussycat Dolls, a lot of that. So it definitely don't hold back if you're gonna do something like that. I know people are like, oh, it's over dancing sometimes, but there's a thin line, it's better to go full, like far with it and pull yourself back than sell yourself short, right? Kind of like a jump rope, that part. Whoa, that wiggle. Very retro, that part with the movements. So it's so clean the way they're traveling. So traveling is basically what it is, you know, moving from one spot to another. We use that a lot in dance terms, in the dance community. When you're moving from one end to another, it's called traveling. So a lot of these are traveling with the with the chorus, because you're switching from one side to another. It's also so cool because it's like smaller steps. So it's like small steps, and then like tippy toe in the end, small steps, and then tippy toe in the end. I just woke up, so I can't properly speak. See? Snap back. Oh, that was so synchronized. Holy shit. Look at this. Look how synchronized that is. And like as they go down, boom. And they like this side here is still like, it's so leveled. So with something like that, you know, you in the front will be kind of the what's the word for it? The mark for how fast it's going. And then the people behind you, even though they're kind of like turned away, they need to kind of like feel how fast you're going and how curved your arms are. So when you're going this way, right? Because you at the back definitely need to follow the front, because the front will have no say. They can't see you. So yeah, and the ones in the middle, they break apart a little bit sooner because, you know, they're going on to the next move. Oh, holy crap. That's cool too, with the waves. So they're moving a lot as a group, and that's great. Oh my god, Momo. When you're creating imagery with groups, it's really important that you stay as a unit, and you kind of need to hold yourself back a little bit if you are the person who has a lot of energy, just because it's so tight knit, the whole image, and if you stick out, it just doesn't look as good. Like you almost have to kind of suppress your individual style in that case, because you're creating a whole image. When you're dancing with actual, you know, choreography, dancing like all around as a, you know, kind of further apart, then it's a little bit better. It's fine. You can still blend and you can still kind of do your individual styles. But if you're like in a close thing like that, it's better if you are more kind of like robotic synchronized. I know a lot of people will not like the term robotic kind of synchronization. Some people do like that kind of dancing. It's there is a balance, you know. I don't mind both as long as it's clean. But if it's in an image like that, when you're so close together, it needs to be robotic synchronized. My grammar is so off. But you know what I mean. It's so catchy. So are the hips moving from one end to another as well? Yeah, it's bouncing from one end or from one side to another. I can't show you, but like we look here, a girl with a gray sweatpants. Everybody's like gray sweatpants except for the black. But watch her hips with the crop top girl. Boom, right? Details like that will make it look amazing. Love that part. They're playing a lot with dynamics as well. Yeah, a lot of these definitely needs to be synchronized because it's so precise, the movements. Oh, we got bending backwards. So like those kind of moments, it you can't just rely on yourself. It's definitely a partner work, especially like looking at these girls here, because if you're bending back and you're almost it's going to be tricky balance wise, so you need to rely on the other person. So you almost kind of need to pull at the same time with the same energy. So it goes like this, right? So pull back at the same time, same energy. Otherwise, you're gonna collapse, especially because they're like bending back quite far. Oh, that's a heart. Who's belting? Look at Momo. You know, Momo she has improved so much from when I saw her on Hit the Stage, and I think Hit the Stage was like 3 years ago. So just a little insight to kind of like, I just remember for the very first time I watched her, I think it was her very first stage on Hit the Stage, she felt a little bit heavier in her feet. And it was a little bit too bad because the choreography was great. She looks amazing. It just felt a little bit heavy on her feet, and I think it was attributed to the foot, to the foot that she's wearing, to the shoes she's wearing. And I think one of the judges did point it out as well. But I noticed in a different choreo, it was kind of like there was a hint of that still, the heaviness on the feet. But it's no longer here. She's definitely improved ever since that competition, and she's just amazing here now. She's like improved so much, and that speaks to the training and to the discipline and to the willingness to learn. Because if you give up on your first year, you will never know what you can do in the third year, right? This part is so retro. I think this is a choreo that doesn't need a dance break. You know how, because like sometimes it's like a little bit easy, like the choreography, but I know that the group can do more, so I always wish for like a dance break somewhere in there, just because also it's such a great way to command a whole choreo in a bigger stage, you know, like for concerts. Imagine like, you know, they're singing and then they suddenly go into dance break, you know, that feeling of like the hype and you're suddenly like screaming. But this is one of those choreos that doesn't need a dance break because it's so continuous and it's difficult enough of a choreography, it's interesting enough of a choreography from the beginning to the end. I don't think there was any moment in there where I was like kind of bored, because sometimes, you know, I do see choreography and like, you know, in a particular verse I'm like, okay, let's keep going. But here it was great. It was interesting enough. It may not be the choreo, it might just be the body lines, the way they're dancing is just mesmerizing enough for me. Or it could be the choreo that's, you know, it's difficult enough and it's interesting enough. So they were creating a lot of imagery there, so it does make you pay attention. Well, thank you guys for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, do like and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure you tick that notification bell so you don't miss any content from me. And if you'd like to get to know more about me, do check out my Instagram and Twitter down below.